the
Oh, okay,
slide.
no problem. Yeah,
Sorry,
so good day, everybody. We are on
the
the series
slide.
of the 24-hour online global conference. And right now we have Dr. Danladi Mamman, who is going to be giving us a
Volume, reduce volume,
presentation.
reduce the volume.
Yeah, uh, Dr. Danladi Mamman is going to be talking about the impact of mentoring of in job retention of metal work teachers in technical colleges in Nigeria. And that's a Tibet study. I want to really learn about that. So, Dr. Danladi Mamman, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. I believe, am I speaking
Yeah,
with Okewale? Sorry, I don't know that name once again.
yeah. So
Okay.
your slide is already here. You could get
Yes,
your slide on. So
yes,
I think
yes.
someone is in the background to help you to push it. So you can go ahead with your presentation, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Danladi Mamman uh, from Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, presenting a paper on the perceived effect of mentoring program on uh, retention, rather, of metal work, job satisfaction, performance, and retention of metal work teachers in technical colleges in Northwest Nigeria. Um, it's part of my PhD work, and I extracted the retention aspect of it for the benefit of the global academic community. Um, Meta work is one of the core subjects that is offered in technical colleges in Nigeria, and the achievement of the set objectives of meta work as embedded in the national policy of education will require experienced, committed, and exposed meta work teachers uh, in order to achieve the set objectives. However, we have a session where there is attrition, serious attrition. This research was necessitated by the worries of the movement of teachers, technical meta work teachers, specifically leaving the job for other sectors. And we look at it that if this trend is allowed to continue uh, without an intervention program to retain the teachers and get them to perform, it might spell doom for the technical colleges in particular and educational sector in general. As technical colleges will continue to produce unskilled, inexperienced, and unproductive, better work graduates or students or craftsmen who might cause more harm to the industries than the good we are expecting. The ultimate goal of this research, introducing mentoring program to in order to retain the committed and experienced network teachers, is to improve personnel and professional growth of mental work teachers continually within the shortest possible time in order to uh, get them to perform and retain them. Uh, Mentoring program, like globally, mentoring is person and a more experienced person. Now, globally, mental work mentoring program is recognized for improving school effectiveness and then, of course, improving teachers' performance. Uh, this study was able to look at how we can exploit mentoring program out of all other professional development programs in order to achieve the set objectives of the technical colleges on how to retain uh, the committed and experienced mental health teachers. Job retention, uh, as defined by Griffiths, is the measure taken to encourage performing teachers to remain in in their organization for maximum period of time. Uh, we feel that these teachers need to be retained and also get them to perform. Uh, Part of what we tried to inject into the system is to look at how Crown's model of 1985 can be of help here in training these the less experienced teachers uh, in order to retain them. Uh, CRAM model is a modified four-stage mentoring relationship, package, uh, which has to do with it's four stages. These four stages we're talking about: initiation, you know, uh, cultivation, separation, and redefinition. Now, how are we going to get this? We designed a small package using the adopted trans model such that at the initiation stage, we'll get the selected experienced teachers, you know, train them with this package, which we call TMPG, Teachers Mentoring Program Guide, which in turn will be used as a guide, as a reference material in the course of training the less experienced meta work teachers. Now, by carrying them along is just to encourage so that there will be no dearth of teachers at the end of the day. The few experienced teachers must be encouraged and using all means possible that will get them to get satisfied on their job and also, will love the working environment and want to stay. And we will not just keep them like that, but also want them to train the less experienced one so that they too will find the need to stay. And by so doing, we'll be able to reduce attrition and encourage retention of these teachers. Now, the the research itself was carried out in the northwest western states of Nigeria, which comprise of Katsina, Kaduna, Jigawa, and so on. We were able to use 152 teachers, less experienced teachers, as our sample, our population, out of which 35 of them were used as sample. We classify them into two. We have the experience. Once were tested, there was pre-test carried out on both the experienced and the less experienced meta work teachers. At the pre-test stage, the teacher mentoring program guide was used uh, on the experienced teachers, while we other teachers, the less experienced ones, we use the uh, ordinary, that's the normal professional development package. But at the end of the day, we carried out a pre-test and of course a post-test using the CRAMS, model of 1985 as our
Okay.
guide. Uh, Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. This is not the package. This is not the one. This is not the one. This is not the one. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, yes.
Sorry, it's like there was uh, a break in communication.
No, you
Sorry.
can go on. You're doing a wonderful presentation. So, and I can't actually break in onto your truth. So you should go
Okay.
on. And your
So
presentation, we lost your presentation right now. And can it be floated back into the room?
okay. So you want me to back forward, backtrack, or how, or what are you saying? Hello.
I said your presentation that
Yes.
it should be floated back up. It should
Okay.
be shared back. It was great you presenting and we seeing the presentation like that. So, but the presentation was off right now. So, uh, can you try to bring it up back?
Okay. So
So
like I
we're
was
we're
saying.
backstage. So
Okay. So like I was saying that we adopted the Crowns model of 1985 and design a guide. The CRAMS model, like I said, is a modified four-stage, program, which we use as our guide, which has to do with, initiation, cultivation, separation, and redefinition. At the initiation stage, it has to do basically, with training the teachers, the experienced teachers on the use of the guide as a reference material. Now, this guide is what we use, the teachers themselves will use on the less experienced teachers while training them through the four stages. Now, the four stages here at the initiation stage is purely training and orientation. It's at the cultivation stage that the main work of mentoring the less experienced by the experienced teachers actually took place, such that at that stage the theoretical, the pedagogical, and the manipulative skills will be impacted on the less experienced metal work teachers. The research itself spanned through 15 weeks, and each of these stage there is what a test kit which we use for to get feedback from the less experienced teachers to get their pulse on how the program is going, how satisfied they are, and then all that. So we actually at the separation stage, usually the training will have been concluded, where you now try to establish more of a relationship between the mentee and the mentors before departure, which is at the redefinition stage. Now, at the redefinition stage, that does not mean that training is over, because it is expected that the less experienced, better work teachers, so as it were, are now also having a leverage to be able to train others. You know, because they'll go back to the system. The training usually, took place at an intert classes with intert group within a school setting. Now, it's expected that these less experienced now who have been mentored will now go back to the system and begin to mentor others who are less experienced. Now, by so doing, the problem of lack of succession planning will have been taken care of, and attrition will definitely be reduced. So, after the 15 weeks, we were able to assess and evaluate and also get feedbacks from those that were trained using the mentoring program, like the mentoring program using the CRAMS model as a package, that they were satisfied with the system. And even those who intended to leave before now had a change of mind. The majority of them had a change of mind and they were willing to stay because mentoring program now proved to be to be more effective, in retaining the teachers as compared to other professional development package. That is exactly what the research is all about. Hello? Okay, yeah. This slide is not. Hello?
Yeah, exactly. Hello, sir.
System. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Yeah, I can hear you. So you were talking about the cracks model used
Yes.
in your research work and
Yes,
how
sir.
it was able to uh, detect. So now I would want you to really emphasize because now uh, I think from your
Right.
should I say initial deduction from the using of the model that it affected the retention rates positively. Am I right?
You're right, sir. That's right.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So, like, what's the number of people that you run, or number of teachers that you run the model with? So,
We
like,
35 out of 152 teachers in metal work teachers in Northwest, technical colleges in Northwest Nigeria. So we ran the
Oh,
model on 35. 16 of them were in the control group, while the 9 of them were in the experimental group.
okay, okay. So, 16 in the control room, the 9 were in the,
No, sorry, I said 35, 17, 16, 35 minus 16. That's 19 now. Yeah, sorry, rather. 19 and 16, sorry.
okay, 19 and 16,
Yes,
almost a
sir.
balanced number. Okay. So now, what would you now say that your final deduction about that is the process can actually be used widely, or it's only peculiar to the northern
So,
state because of other peculiarities, or what do you think?
no, just like you say, the deductions now, the outcome of the research proved that it can now be generalized. You know, we dealt with specific using the metal work teachers as our sample, but it has proved to be effective. Generally, like I'm speaking to you right now, I am in a secondary school that is run by the Nigerian, attached to the Nigerian Defense Academy. It's a unit. And we have run the tech, you can hear just from the name, it's not a technical college. The package also has been tested on this same school as a model school attached to the university, and it has proved effective.
Okay, so what would happen the next stage of your implementation? Because now one of those things I always appreciate about research like this is this, um, how to scale it up. Uh, because now research is for a purpose for us to find out what could work and how it could work. And after we've actually discovered that, then the next thing is that we should see how we could scale it so that we could increase, because retention rate is very, very important, for the educators in that area. And so, what do you think needs to be done to scale such a research up based on the positive information you're going to get from it?
Thank you, Mr. Okewale. First and foremost, it will interest you to know that Nigeria is part of my claim, and I stand to defend it. Mentoring program does not exist at the secondary school level. It has only been tried, tested, and implemented in selected uh, universities or high institutions. Now, I saw that as a gap,
Yeah.
and I felt, what can we do to improve teaching effectiveness, even at the grassroots? Because before you can turn out students to or learners to the higher institution, you must pass through the primary and secondary schools, even if the child is a genius. Certainly, and if you are able to impart on them positively at this secondary or primary school level, certainly we are hopeful that our products from the universities will be they will surely be able to deliver. Now, what we are looking at to scale it up, like I already told you earlier, part of my claim, and I made bold to say it. This research has not been carried out at the secondary school level. We look at it and we exploited it, and we are trying to see how we can scale it up. Of course, we have. I'm not a policy maker. I'm just one of the stakeholders, but we can scale it up by approaching the Federal Ministry of Education with our package to see how this can be implemented or introduced to other, you know, uh, uh, aspects of educational pursuit, including the craftsmen. Secondary school, technical school trained craftsmen and mastered craftsmen. No, but then we don't just want to stop it at that. We want to see how it can be generalized. Of course, one of the purposes of research is to be able to have a solution to a societal problem and see how, if proved positive, how it can be generalized in the long run.
That's very interesting. So because the next question that I wanted to ask you is this: that um, are you interested in making the reports of the research public, like having it to be open, like as an open educational resources, so that perhaps other sectors, because in technical or in the TVET field, it's not only the metal works sector that has trainers that need to be developed as mentors, but every aspect of uh, the Tibet sphere needs to raise mentors, and this is supposed to be an opportunity to kind of like widespread it. So, are you interested? Would you be making your research work available on an open platform or somewhere that people could have access to it?
Certainly, I'll be willing any day to make my research work public. And the more reason why I told you that we are making efforts to approach the Federal Ministry of Education to see how this package can be used on other aspects of, the other units of educational, secondary schools, educational pursuit. And beyond that, I'm already trying to, we're working on a book to make it, that is to author a book concerning mentoring of, teachers in the secondary schools, not technical college now. How to mentor teachers, the less experienced teachers, for capacity, just can be called capacity development, career development, personal development. Mentoring is all encompassing. We already working on that, and the beyond that, of course, we will also look at how the learners themselves can be mentored. But this research is specifically on the teachers, because if you get the teachers trained and they're productive and they're experienced and they're committed and they're willing to stay, I bet you there'll be turnaround in the educational sector concerning the learners.
Okay, finally, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you have anything with collaboration with the organized private sector to kind of like develop the process of mentoring the more, considering the fact that the private sector also develop labor in one way or the other. That's where the practice is really. So, what is the relationship, or what could be the relationship of your kind of research with collaboration with the private sector?
Mr. Kewale, I really appreciate that question. I have no doubt you're a Nigerian, and you understand from with the angle from which I'm coming from. Uh, Collaboration with the private sector, yes, we are making effort, but sorry to say that in Africa or Nigeria, so to say, research is hampered by grant, and most of these people sometimes we find it difficult to trust one another. When you have a good product you are trying to sell to the public, except somebody that is into it will begin to doubt you whether there is an element of let me say deceit, or let me use the word 419. But the western, our counterparts in the west, they understand this better. They can't, I bet you, put anything into research and for the benefit of the generality of the public. But here, if you ask somebody to invest into research, he's looking at it as if he's throwing away his God-given fortune. But we are not relenting, even if they refuse to invent. That's why I told you. I said we are trying to approach. We are making effort to approach the not the private sector now, but the government. I told you the move we are making to approach the Federal Ministry of Education. Probably we can key into this good initiative. I assure you, if the shot is coming from there, the private sector, the public sector will have no doubt in key into the good initiative.
Wow, that's a very, very good one. And I appreciate your presentation on the Teachers and Conference. It's really, really very fantastic what you've been able to do with your research and the impact that it could make in the Tibet sector, especially. I think perhaps you know that we had Dr. Shamal Majumda, the former head of the UNESCO UNEVO, who did a presentation earlier in the conference. And
Yes.
he talked on something similar on how peer-to-peer relationship kind of like develop the capacity and the skills of the local areas. And when you're talking about mentoring the teachers, you're actually giving the teachers more reason for them to stay longer and then make the service available to the young people that are coming up, and it's going to increase the self-esteem of the teachers, which will turn over to the students as well, which is very
Certainly.
very important, to eliminate the stigma with Tibet, especially in our perhaps in our country, or that though that is relatively changing, of course, post COVID, we hope it's going to keep changing continually. But it's very, very important that we have all of this in place, because I found out that Tibet teachers are the first set of people that kill the system before any other people, any other one else. But if you have a system in which they are mentored and they take the ownership of the system themselves, and I know when once they are retained, they want to make sure that their pupils or their students get something better in the future, and it's going to be a win-win for everybody. So thank you, Dr. Mamman, for the presentation. We really
Thank you.
appreciate that you brought this up. Yeah, it's a pleasure. So we will be rounding off right now this session, and I hope because it's actually streamed on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, so it will still be available for people to view all through the week. So please check out the work of Dr. Mammon, and we're going to be pushing more information about his research, his beautiful research, across as we get it. And when we have an opportunity, we might still bring Dr. Mammon on board to come and extend and speak more about the realities of what is in the Tibet industry that he is. Thank you, Dr. Mammon.
Thank you, Mr. Kewali. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So we'll be rounding up this session. We have other concurrent sessions that are going on right now, and we have another set of fantastic sessions that is coming up at the top of the hour. So keep it on the dial. The YouTube, our YouTube page, Switcherton YouTube page, our Facebook page. Yeah, so you can see it on the screen, and our Twitter page. We have this streaming concurrently, so please take the opportunity to watch and share with
It's a complete work.